On this episode of China Uncensored, let's go for a swim across the Pacific at 3,000 miles per hour. Hi, welcome to China Uncensored. I'm your host, Chris Chappell. What happens when you break the sound barrier underwater? I don't know, but China may just find out. I'm super captivated by supercavitation, a technology China is developing that could make a submarine trip from Shanghai to San Francisco possible in just 100 minutes. Now you might be wondering, since that 6,000-mile trip takes 11.5 hours by jet, how is it possible for a submarine to make the same trip in less than 2? Why, it's the same answer as to all of life's great questions. Experimental Soviet weapons technology. During the Cold War, the Soviet Union was researching technology to, kill and destroy. One such experiment was a supercavitation torpedo. You see, moving through water is more difficult than moving through air. Imagine, if you will, you're poolside, and you execute a graceful dive through the air that ends in a belly flop when you hit the water. Water creates drag, and that's why even today, the fastest submarines and torpedoes can't really top about 46 miles per hour. Supercavitation gets around that. It creates a bubble of air around the torpedo, so it's essentially moving through air and not water. The Soviet supercavitation torpedo was able to reach speeds of about 230 miles per hour. Theoretically, using this technology, you could have a torpedo or sub that could travel over 3,000 miles per hour underwater. So, why isn't this technology used on all torpedoes or submarines? Well, a few little problems. The first one is that you have to launch at about 60 miles per hour to even get the gas bubble to form and keep its shape, which again is difficult since most submarines and torpedoes can't top 46 miles per hour. But according to the Harbin Institute of Technology in China, they may have found a way around that one. Instead of launching at high speeds, their device emits a special liquid membrane that reduces friction so the object can go fast enough to form the gas bubble. But the other problem is, typically, if you were sitting in a submarine careening through the water at 3,000 miles per hour, you might want to be able to steer. You see, the whole point of supercavitation is the object moves through the gas bubble so it doesn't touch the water. But for a rudder to steer, it has to be in contact with the water. At speeds that fast, it would rip off as soon as it pierced the gas bubble and touched the water. That makes a supercavitation torpedo a devastating weapon as long as your target can't move, like Chinese peasants. Then there's the fact you need a powerful engine on this thing, and that kind of has range issues. Rockets usually only have enough fuel for a few minutes. The Soviet supercavitation torpedo, besides being unsteerable, only had a range of several miles, though maybe a nuclear engine could work, in which case China might have a nuclear torpedo moving at the speed of sound. But it doesn't necessarily have to be a weapon. There is the civilian submarine idea. Li Fengchen, a professor at the Harbin Institute, said the technology could even be adapted to swimsuits, so swimming in water could be as effortless as flying in the sky. Though flying through the sky might be a tad easier for the Chinese than the Americans. So what do you think? Is this the wave of the future? Would you ride in a 3,000 mile per hour submarine? Leave your comments below and be sure to share and subscribe, or you can visit the China Uncensored Facebook page for more. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. See you next time.